Tonight we're starting a series called Parenting on Purpose. Esta noche comenzamos una serie que se llama Padres a Proposito. Okay? We will also have, I might as well mention this, debo mencionar esto también. We are having a parenting conference. Vamos a tener una conferencia para padres, and that is going to be on October 26, el 26 de octubre. And that's going to be at 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. as we do. Va a ser de 9 de la mañana a 3 de la tarde, all right? So I will not manipulate you into coming to that, but if you care about your kids, you will come. No te voy a manipular a que vengas a eso, pero si te importan tus hijos, vas a venir. So we'll have a sign up for that soon. Vamos a tener una lista para apuntarse pronto. And we'll be touching on many subjects because one of the things that I'm passionate about regarding the grace message is what does grace actually look like in our daily practical lives. Una de las cosas que me apasionan acerca del mensaje de la gracia es cómo se ve o cómo se expresa la gracia en las diferentes áreas de nuestra vida diaria y cotidiana. We know the message of grace. I hope you do. Espero que conozcas el mensaje de la gracia, right? It's not by our own works. It's by His grace through faith that we've been saved. Es por gracia a través de fe que hemos sido salvos. How we know we cannot earn things from God. Sabemos que no podemos ganarnos cosas de Dios. Like we teach about grace all the time. It comes out of our pores. Sale de nuestros poros enseñar la gracia. But although there's a lot of teaching about grace, there's not a whole lot of what does it actually look like outside of the impact that sin used to have in my life. Aunque hay mucha enseñanza, no hay mucha enseñanza fuera de cómo, qué tiene que ver con el pecado, ¿no? Y el pecado que antes tenía poder y ahora no tiene poder. Fuera de eso, no hay mucho de la gracia. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot of teaching on grace. Like, what does grace look like in parenting? What does grace look like in marriage? ¿Cómo se ve la gracia en educar a los hijos y cómo se ve la gracia en el matrimonio? As a matter of fact, I'm teaching a pastor's workshop. There's a flyer in the back for, there's an Army event, which is Andrew Womack's Pastors and Leaders Group. Voy a enseñar un taller para pastores en el grupo de Army, que es el grupo de Andrew Womack para pastores y líderes. So the flyer's in the back. If you know someone or leaders or you are interested, you can sign up for that. Tú te puedes apuntar para eso también. Está el flyer atrás, ese blanco con rojo. It's that white one with red stripes. Because the Lord put in my heart a long time ago, whenever I can, to teach pastors how to teach, not just to teach grace, but to stop using the tools of the law to pastor. No solamente enseñar gracia, sino cómo dejar de usar las herramientas de la ley para pastorear. Because what happens is we get a new message and a new revelation, but we keep using the same old tools. El problema es que tenemos un mensaje y una revelación, pero continuamos usando las mismas herramientas antiguas. So a lot of what we're going to be talking about in parenting, mucho de lo que vamos a estar hablando acerca de padres, has to do with our new set of tools and leaving behind the tools of the law. Mucho de lo que tiene que ver esta serie es cómo usar nuestras nuevas herramientas en la gracia y dejar las herramientas de la ley. Because we say we believe in grace and we believe in Jesus, but we continue using the tools of the law to raise them up. Porque decimos que creemos en Jesús y creemos en la gracia, pero continuamos usando las herramientas de la ley para educar a nuestros hijos. So, if we're all about grace, we must know what does grace look like practically in parenting, in marriage. ¿Cómo se ve la gracia prácticamente en educar a mis hijos? Does that make sense? ¿Tiene sentido? So that's what I'm hoping we will find out. For that, I have a book for you. Para eso tengo un libro. We always like to give a book because, this is kind of like, it's like school type of service. Es como una escuela, un tipo de servicio de escuela. We have combined a lot of Andrew Womack's classes and a lot of the School of Supernatural Ministry from Bethel. hemos combinado de la escuela de Andrew Womack y de la escuela sobrenatural de ministerio para equipar los miércoles, and that's how we equip ourselves on Wednesdays. So this is not just if you have kids. This is if you'll ever be around kids, or if you were a kid, which you are still a kid, because you have a relationship with the Father, and a lot of times you don't know how to relate to Him except the old way. Muchas veces no sabes ni cómo relacionarte con tu Padre Celestial más que de la manera antigua de la ley. Entonces no solamente si tienes hijos, pero si eres hijo. So a lot of this, even if you're not an active parent with little ones, you're still a child. Así que aunque no seas un padre activo, tal vez no tienes pequeñitos, sigues siendo un hijo o una hija. Right? So if you stayed home tonight because you thought this was just for parents, you're missing out because you're still a child. Si te quedaste en casa porque pensaste que era solo para papás, te estás perdiendo algo porque es para hijos también. Because don't we say that we are children? I mean, even when we become parents, we must always remain sons and daughters. ¿No decimos que aunque somos padres, necesitamos permanecer siendo hijos e hijas? Because whenever we stop being sons and daughters, we also stop being teachable. Cuando dejamos de ser hijos e hijas, dejamos de poder aprender. So, we're going to have these books available. We ran out. We're going to have, I think I see one back there. I don't know if it's in English or Spanish, but this is the book that we're going to be reading throughout this month. Este es el libro que vamos a estar leyendo este mes. We're going to make a lot of references to this book, but it's impossible to cover it all in 4 weeks. Es imposible cubrirlo todo en 4 semanas, pero se los recomiendo. It's called Loving Our Kids on Purpose. Se llama Amando a Nuestros Hijos a Propósito. It's by Danny Silk. Yeah, there's 2. ¿En inglés o en español? Hay 2 en español ahí atrás. We will have more by Sunday. Vamos a tener más para el domingo. But it's an amazing book. Un libro maravilloso. So, and here's the other thing. If you're really, if you're called to help other people, which we are to make disciples, even if you're not actively being a parent, you want to have the tools to help others, right? Quieres enseñar, tener las herramientas para ayudarle a otros a ser mejores padres, right? So, I'm passionate about this. I have 5 kids that keep me training every day. Tengo 5 hijos que me mantienen entrenando este tema diario. I am not perfect by any means. No soy perfecto por ningún motivo, but I have changed a lot. And I did not grow up in a dysfunctional home. Yo no crecí en un hogar disfuncional. I grew up in a Christian home. My parents are pastors. Yo crecí en un hogar saludable. Mis padres son pastores. And yes, though they're not perfect, I have a hard time finding anything wrong they did. Y aunque no son perfectos, me cuesta trabajo encontrar algo malo que hayan hecho. But I think I'm very familiar with all the other methods of raising kids that there are out there. Creo que soy muy familiar con otros métodos de enseñar a sus hijos que hay afuera. And so when I learned how grace looks like in parenting, my heart broke. Cuando aprendí cómo se veía la gracia en el criar y educar a los hijos, mi corazón se rompió. Because I realized, like you might, and this is not for condemnation, this is for revelation, okay? And repentance, which just means change the way you think. Y esto no es para condenación, sino para revelación y arrepentimiento, que quiere decir cambia la manera de pensar, ¿sí? But I realized I'd be using the devil's tools to raise my kids. Pero me di cuenta que había estado usando las herramientas del diablo para educar a mis hijos. Like, what? Did you use a weird star? No, we didn't do stuff like that. No usamos cosas satánicas. That's not what I mean. But see, the devil's tools is fear, right? Punishment. Las herramientas del diablo son temor, castigo, intimidation, intimidación. And then when you put 2 and 2 together, you go, oh, I'm using the same thing, to raise my kids. That can't be good. Y después dices, caray, estoy usando las mismas herramientas para educar a mis hijos, eso no puede ser bueno. That can't be good. Is it hot here or is it just me? Can we check it? Yeah, just make sure that. Maybe I'm feeling the heat. Estoy sintiendo el calor. So, Again, it's not for condemnation. And if you have raised kids, y si tú ya criaste hijos, and you did things wrong, it's not for condemnation. There's always something good you can do. Siempre hay algo bueno que puedes hacer de aquí en adelante. God is a good redeemer. So I want to remind you this. God's a good redeemer. Dios es un buen redentor. So if you go, oh my gosh, I messed up my kids. That's the reason why they're messed up. Listen to me. God's a good redeemer, and He can use you, and He can restore all things. Así que si tú piensas, oh, lo arruiné todo, arruiné a mis hijos, lo que sea. Escucha, Dios es un buen redentor, y Él redime todas las cosas. Y Él puede redimir tu relación. Are you with me? ¿Están conmigo? All right. So again, we will be going off of this, many things that are in this book, some that are not here, because I also do want to tell you that, well, I'm not sure how much Ronnie will be here, but Bob and Ronnie taught a class here last year for blended families. Bob y Ronnie enseñaron una clase de familias mixtas el año pasado aquí. And while Bob's not here right now, he's busy with work. But Ronnie's here tonight, and I'm not sure she might be here some of the other Wednesdays. But if you have any questions on parenting or anything, especially on blended families, please do not hesitate to come to Ronnie and ask her, because they have raised an amazing blended family, and we just love it. So, si tú tienes una familia mixta y tienes alguna pregunta de familias mixtas, ellos enseñan la clase de familias mixtas, por favor, no dudes en venir a preguntarle a Ronnie, ¿sí? Cualquier duda que tengas o consejo que necesites como madre o como padre acerca de una familia mixta, ¿okay? Ellos han creado una familia mixta maravillosa y lo han hecho de una manera hermosa, y they have scars that prove it. Tienen cicatrices que lo prueban. And they've done it so well. Y lo han hecho de una manera maravillosa. And in the conference, they will be part of the question and answer panel. Ellos van a estar también en el panel de preguntas en la conferencia. So, let's get into it. Vamos a entrar a esto. Y if you have a page, si tienen una página, Parenting on Purpose. Grace for parenting in every season of their lives. La gracia para ser padres en toda etapa de sus vidas. So in other words, if you have an infant, a newborn, si tienes un recién nacido, un infante, or if you have a 2-year-old toddler, o si tienes uno de 2 años, or if you have one that started going to school, o si acaba de empezar a la escuela, or if you have a teenager, or un adolescente, or a young adult, or someone who just moved out, or has been moved out of the house, or maybe you're a grandparent, okay? Tal vez alguien que ya se mudó de la casa, o ya hasta eres abuelo, okay? There is grace to continue to parent them in every season of their life. Hay gracia para continuar siendo padres hacia ellos en toda etapa de su vida. When they move out of the house, when they get married, when they have their own kids, you don't stop being a parent. It just changes the way you parent. Cuando salen de la casa, cuando se casan, cuando tienen hijos, no dejas de ser padre o madre. Simplemente cambia, ¿sí? Hay una transición, cambia tu relación con ellos y la manera en la que ahora eres padre. Your level of influence completely changes. Tu nivel de influencia cambia completamente. That's why when they're little, it's important to use that time as best as possible. Por eso cuando son pequeños es importante usar ese tiempo lo mejor posible. Because it sets you up for when they go out of the house, it protects your relationship. Para que cuando se salgan de la casa, protege tu relación con ellos. If they already moved out and you feel like you messed up, there's grace, there's redeeming power for restoration and to move forward, okay? So again, I want to reiterate, but I don't want to say every 2 seconds. Entonces lo quiero reiterar, pero no lo quiero decir cada 2 segundos. Si ya se mudaron, si ya salieron de la casa y te diste cuenta que lo hiciste mal, no te preocupes. Hay gracia, ¿sí? Para redimir todas las cosas y restaurar tu conexión con ellos. Are we clear? ¿Estamos claros? Okay. So number 1. Okay, well, lesson 1. What does grace look like in parenting? ¿Cómo se ve la gracia en el ser padres? And we're going to read that scripture down the road. Vamos a leer eso más adelante. But right now, number 1 says, for most parents, the goal of raising children is to teach them to obey. Para la mayoría de los padres, la meta de criar hijos es enseñarles a obedecer. Esta es una meta inferior. This, however, is an inferior goal. How fun. Qué divertido. Isn't it funny? Like, that's the main goal. The main goal, right, is to make them obey. La meta principal es hacerlos obedecer. And we categorize kids on they're really good or they're really bad based on how well they obey or how well they disobey, right? Y categorizamos niños en son muy buenos o son muy malos dependiendo en que si obedecen o desobedecen. Isn't that true? ¿No es cierto, verdad? Right? That's like one of the main goals. Is like, do you have good children? Oh yeah, they obey right away. ¿Tienes buenos hijos? Sí, obedecen inmediatamente. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. No hay nada malo con eso. But I want to suggest to you that obedience is an inferior goal, while it tends to be parents' number one goal. La obediencia es una meta inferior, mientras que muchos padres la consideran la meta principal. Let's go to Luke chapter 10 and verse 27. Lucas 10:27. Again, I did not say it's not a good goal or a good thing. No dije que no es una buena meta, okay? I'm just saying it's not the main thing. It's not number one goal. It's an inferior goal. Es una meta inferior. So Luke 10:27, it says, he answered. Okay, so the Pharisees asked him, what must I do to inherit eternal life? He said, what's written in the law? He replied, how do you read it? He answered, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, and with all your mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. You've answered correctly, Jesus replied. Do this and you will live. Okay, dice en el verso 27, ama al Señor tu Dios con todo tu corazón, con toda tu alma y con toda tu mente, con todas tus fuerzas y con toda tu mente. Ama a tu prójimo como a ti mismo. So see, number 2, Jesus prioritized and promoted relationship above the rules. Love and relationship are the bottom line of the kingdom. Número 2 dice, Jesús promovió la relación por sobre las reglas. Amor y relaciones son fundamentales en el reino. Right? Like, they asked him, like, what must I do? What's the most important thing? He didn't say obey. Le preguntaron, ¿qué es lo que debo hacer? ¿Qué es lo más importante? Y él no dijo obedecer. What did he prioritize? Love and relationships. ¿Qué fue lo que él le dio prioridad? Es al amor y a las relaciones. So again, nothing wrong with obedience, but it's not the number one most important goal. Nada malo con la obediencia, pero no es la meta principal y más importante. But love and relationship, so connection is a more important goal. La conexión es una meta más importante. Our connection with Him, He's more interested in our connection with Him than our obedience to Him. Él está más interesado en nuestra conexión con Él que nuestra obediencia a Él. Our heart connection with our children is the most important goal. Number 3, our heart connection with our children is the most important goal, much like our relationship with God. Número 3, la conexión de corazón con nuestros hijos es la meta más importante. La conexión de corazón con nuestros hijos es la meta más importante, como nuestra relación con Dios. What's your number one goal in your relationship with God? Is it to obey Him, everything? Or is it to be connected with Him? ¿Cuál es la meta más importante de Dios? Obedecerlo todo, estar conectado con Él. I guarantee you, He's more interested in being connected with you, talking with you all day, being involved in your life, than in your obedience. Está más interesado en que estés conectado con Él todo el día, en todo tiempo, a que le obedezcas todo. And I know some of you are going like, what is going on? Yo sé que muchos están pensando de qué está pasando aquí. But just follow me, okay? He wants our heart above all things. Él quiere nuestro corazón por sobre todas las cosas. Obedience can happen through performance. La obediencia puede suceder a través de obras. You can obey and not have your heart in it. Puedes obedecer y no tener tu corazón en la obediencia. But when your heart is in it, then it will lead you to do the right thing, to obey Him because you trust Him. Pero cuando tu corazón está conectado con Él, entonces te va a guiar a obedecerle, a seguirle, porque lo amas y porque proteges la conexión. Sí, obedience is a secondary goal that happens as a result of protecting the relationship. La obediencia es una meta secundaria que sucede como resultado de proteger la relación. And this is where we're going, but I'm getting way ahead, but it's probably because I feel a lot of questions and I don't want to leave those hanging. Siento muchas preguntas y no quiero dejarlas ahí. See, obedience must be based in a love relationship, otherwise it's abuse. La obediencia debe estar basada en una conexión de amor, de otra manera es abuso. Think about it. If you are forced to obey someone who you do not love and do not trust, what does it feel like? Abuse. Si eres forzado a obedecer a alguien a quien no amas y con quien no tienes una relación, ¿cómo se siente eso? Como abuso. That's why obedience must be in response to protecting my connection with you, because I care for your heart, then I want to protect our relationship. I obey you because I trust you. I don't want to disobey my parents because I don't want to hurt their heart. Entonces, en vez de obedecer porque tengo que obedecer, obedezco porque estoy protegiendo nuestra relación, porque quiero cuidar tu corazón, porque no quiero lastimar el corazón de mis padres. Yay? Amen? I hope you come back next week. Espero que regreses la próxima semana. Let me tell you, this is not easy. Esto no es fácil. And I say this is not easy because just as so many people prefer law over grace. Y digo, no es fácil, así como mucha gente prefiere la ley sobre la gracia. Why do a lot of people prefer religion and rules and law? Because it's easier to follow it. You don't have to have faith and have a real relationship with an invisible God. Mucha gente prefiere la ley y las reglas y la religión porque prefieren seguir un montón de cosas en vez de tener una relación basada por fe con un Dios invisible. That's why it's also easier to parent with the tools of the law. Por eso también es más fácil ser padre a nuestros hijos con las herramientas de la ley, rather than cultivate a heart relationship and just trust that they'll choose correctly. En vez de simplemente cultivar una relación con su corazón, donde tengas que confiar que van a tomar la decisión correcta. Oh man, I'm getting ahead, but it's like it's all coming out. Okay. Número 4. Are you learning something tonight? ¿Estás aprendiendo algo esta noche? Okay, so before I go to number 4, number 3 said, much like our relationship with God. So that's why I was saying, this isn't just for parents. Por eso decía que esto no es solamente para padres. Al final del número 3 dice, mucho como nuestra relación con Dios, right? Our relationship, we are not having a right relationship with God if we're also using the tools of the law. We are frustrating grace. Si no tenemos una relación correcta con Dios, estamos frustrando la gracia también. Entonces, por eso es que no importa que no seas padre, también en la posición que estás, esto te va a ayudar a tener una relación con Dios mejor. This will also help your relationship with Father God. Okay? Okay, now number 4, genuine connection can't happen unless they can manage their freedom. Número 4, conexiones genuinas, okay, conexiones genuinas no pueden suceder a menos que puedan administrar su libertad. See, true love sets people free. El verdadero amor da libertad a las personas. So one of our main goals of parenting, una de nuestras metas principales de ser padres, debería ser el enseñarles a manejar y administrar su libertad. So one of our main goals as in parenting should be to teach them how to manage their freedom. And the sooner and the earlier you equip them with this tool, this skill, the better off they're going to be when they're adults. Y entre más pronto los equipes con esta habilidad, más fácil va a ser para ellos cuando sean adultos. I'm going to have to skip to number 11 in just a moment, and we're going to go to Genesis 2. Voy a tener que saltarme hasta el número 11 y leer Génesis. I don't know why I put it in disorder like that. No sé por qué lo puse en desorden así. But I'll prove this to you. Why did God put one tree they couldn't eat out of in the Garden of Eden? Porque es que Dios puso un árbol del que no podían comer en el jardín del Edén. I mean, why? ¿Por qué? Because it wouldn't be real freedom if there wasn't an option to mess up and to disobey. No sería libertad verdadera si no hubiera opción para desobedecer. So true freedom, true love sets us free, right? And true freedom has an option to mess up. Así como el verdadero amor te hace libre, la verdadera libertad también te da una opción de tomar la decisión incorrecta. So if there had been no forbidden fruit, si no hubiera habido un árbol prohibido, it wouldn't have been true freedom. No hubiera sido libertad verdadera. I mean, you follow me? ¿Me está siguiendo? And he wouldn't really love us. He would just kind of control us in a controlled environment. Y no nos amaría realmente, sino que nos controlaría en un ambiente controlado. So he had to put the one option that was disobedience. Así que tuvo que haber puesto una opción de desobediencia so that they were truly free, para que fueran realmente libres. And many times, parents do not give their children the opportunities to make mistakes, and they just control them until they turn 18, and then they go and they make all their mistakes when they're 18, and now they're real scarring mistakes. Y muchos padres no les dan nunca la oportunidad a sus hijos de equivocarse y de cometer errores hasta que cumplen 18 años y a la fuerza van y cometen sus errores, y ahora son errores que realmente marcan su vida. So that's why I say the earlier we teach them to manage freedom in small portions, right? The better they will get at it. Entonces por eso digo que entre más temprana edad les damos oportunidades de manejar y de administrar su propia libertad, mejor equipados van a estar. Okay, one thing I do with my kids, una cosa que hago con mis hijos, and I know like bedtimes can be nightmares, right? Sé que la hora de dormir puede ser una pesadilla, ¿verdad? Right? It's like home with 5 kids, you know? It's like they're all running naked all over the place, you know, trying to catch them, you know, en un hogar de 5 niños, todos andan corriendo sin ropa por todos lados y tratando de encontrarlo, parece un juego, ¿no? So, you know, when they get old enough, cuando tienen edad suficiente para entender, you know, to understand, I start telling him, I don't chase him around for their bedtime, no los persigo para su hora de dormir, and I don't yell, go to bed, ni les ando gritando, vete a la cama, vete a dormir, no. But I tell my daughters, I said, okay, it might be like 6 p.m., tal vez son las 6 de la tarde, and I'll tell them, listen, your bedtime is at 8:30. Y les digo, tu hora de dormir es a las 8:30. That means you have 2.5 hours. Le digo, O sea que tienes 2 horas y media to take a shower, eat, have a snack, have water 3 times, go to the bathroom 16 times. Así que le digo, tienes 2 horas y media para bañarte, comer, hacer el snack, tomar agua 5 veces, ir al baño 16 veces. But at 8:30, you need to have already come kissed me and be in bed with the light off. Pero a las 8:30, tú tienes ya que haberme venido a dar mi beso y estar en tu cama con la luz apagada. Don't be late. No llegues tarde. So, this is just a little bit of training. They have 2.5 hours to do however they want, in whatever order they want. I'm not going to tell them, do this first, do that then, no, that, now do this. And no, I'm like, here's your time, okay? Do with it as you wish. Entonces le estoy dando libertad de manejar su tiempo en esta capacidad. No le estoy diciendo, haz esto o haz esto o haz esto, sino que aquí está tu tiempo, administralo y a ver cómo te sale, right? Well, the first few times, a couple of them missed the deadline, a couple of them were a couple minutes late, one was like always on time. Y al principio una estaba a tiempo, otra estaba un poco tarde, otra unos minutos tarde, right? And what happened? I come, I give them feedback, and be like, you were late. Le digo, llegaste tarde. Oh, but it was only 2 minutes. I'm like, early is on time's late, late's not acceptable. Le digo, temprano es a tiempo es tarde, y tarde no es aceptable. It's all right, okay? So, you get another chance tomorrow. Tienes otro chance mañana, right? And so you just slowly give them room and opportunities to manage their freedom. Entonces, poco a poco creas de una manera creativa oportunidades para darles libertad. And what's the easier thing to do? It's like, go to bed, take a shower right now. If not, shoes flying, ¿Y cuál es la parte fácil? Sería pues decirle, mira, ya vete a bañar ahorita, vete a comer, ya, vete a la cama y aventar un chanclazo, si no, ¿verdad? So it takes being a parent on purpose, not a parent by accident. Entonces requiere ser un padre a propósito y no un padre por accidente, to equip him with the skills that they need. But Daddy, it's too early. I can't go to bed. It's so early. You know that teaching kids to go to sleep is a skill? ¿Sabes que enseñarle a los niños a irse a dormir es una habilidad? It's a skill, and they need to learn it. If not, you know what happens? They won't sleep. They'll always be tired. Y si no aprenden a dormir, van a estar siempre cansados. No van a saber irse a dormir a una hora buena, decente. So teaching kids how to go to bed at a time that it's maybe early or whatever, but it's the sleep they need, it's a skill. Así que enseñarles a los niños a irse a dormir a una hora que necesitan irse a dormir es una habilidad que uno tiene que aprender. I mean, and it changes. It's different when they're infants. It's different when they're toddlers. It's different when they're, when they're older. Es diferente en cada etapa de su vida. Because they also need different amounts of sleep. Porque necesitan también diferentes tiempos de dormir, right? A newborn sleeps like, 17 hours? Un recién nacido duerme como 17 horas, right? And then it kind of goes down from there, but I'm telling you what, it's never 3 or 4 hours. Te voy a decir algo, nunca son 3 o 4 horas. A teenager still needs like at least 8 hours. Un adolescente todavía necesita mínimo 8 horas. So if you don't teach him these things, I teach my kids that, hey, if you have a screen in front of your eyes, you're never going to go to sleep because that light is breaking down all the melatonin that is telling your body to go to sleep. Y les enseño a mis hijos desde pequeños, si tienes una pantalla enfrente de tus ojos, nunca te vas a ir a dormir porque esa luz de la pantalla desbarata toda la melatonina que tu cuerpo produce para hacerte ir a dormir. Like, I'm not tired. Well, I know you're not tired. No estoy cansado. Pues claro que no estás cansado. You don't feel it, but you will be tomorrow. Mañana lo vas a estar. Okay, so Teaching them how to manage their freedom. That was number 5. Okay, because when they can manage their freedom, then they can choose to have a real connection with you. Not because they have to. Cuando aprenden a manejar su libertad, a administrar su libertad, entonces ellos pueden escoger tener una relación genuina contigo y no porque tienen que. Number 6, the tools of, number 5. Until our children learn to deal with what's going on inside, they can't learn to manage freedom. Número 5, hasta que nuestros hijos aprendan a lidiar con lo que está sucediendo dentro de ellos, no podrán administrar su libertad. What is this about? ¿De qué se trata esto? This is about teaching our kids how to be in tune with their heart. Eso se trata de enseñarle a nuestros hijos cómo estar sintonizados con su corazón. And I know that even as adults sometimes we're learning that. Y sé que como adultos nosotros muchas veces estamos aprendiendo eso. Right? Just teaching our kids to keep a healthy heart. Enseñarle a nuestros hijos a tener un corazón saludable. How important is to protect relationship and protect each other's heart. Lo importante que es proteger la relación y proteger el corazón el uno del otro. Okay, let's go to number 6. Número 6. The tools of intimidation and fear that were passed on to us are incompatible with the kind of relationships God designed us for. Las herramientas de temor e intimidación que nos fueron pasadas son incompatibles con el tipo de relaciones para las que Dios nos diseñó. What are some of those tools? ¿Cuáles son algunas de esas herramientas? Anger. El enojo. What else? ¿Qué otras herramientas de esas hay? Fear, punishment, castigo, temor, manipulación, control, intimidación, la chancla. Yeah, y'all know what the chancla is. That's an international word. La chancla, right? The slipper, which is not slipper, you know. It's a chancla. The belt, el cinturón. The broomstick. La vara, I don't know, right? Violence, la violencia. How about guilt, la culpa, right? How many parents would just go get drunk and then blame it on their kids? It's you caused me so much stress. This is why I have to drink. Es tu culpa, me causas tanto estrés. Por eso tengo que ir a tomar. Fear, right? Temor. So, these are tools of fear and intimidation that were passed on. And here's the problem is that even if we didn't like how our childhood was and we try to just make it a little better, it will never be to the standard of what God's standard is, right? Si nosotros tuvimos una mala infancia y nos fueron pasadas esas herramientas y tratamos de hacerlo un poquito mejor que eso, aún no va a ser la manera en la que Dios lo diseñó. Se va a quedar muy corto. It's gonna be real short from what His design, what His standard is, right? I remember years ago dealing with a parent, a dad. Recuerdo hace años lidiar con un padre de su hogar who had a horrible childhood, like full of abuse. Recuerdo lidiar con este papá que tuvo una infancia horrible, con mucho abuso, right? Like the things he described were just like really, really bad. Las cosas que describían muy, muy malas, muy tristes, very sad. And I was talking with him because he was verbally abusive to his wife and children, really bad. Y yo estaba hablando con él ese día porque él era verbalmente abusivo de sus hijos y de su esposa. Like he would just cut him down, and he had a lot of anger, and he would just let the anger come out. And while he didn't hit them, all the anger and all the verbal abuse was just constant, daily. Y mientras que no era abuso físico, era un abuso verbal que diariamente estaba sobre ellos. Y el enojo, toda su ira y enojo, right? Y yo le estaba diciendo que necesitaba cambiar su manera o iba a perder a su familia. And I was sharing with him, my heart is broken, I'm with him. I said, hey, listen, you have to change. If you don't change your ways, you're going to lose your family. You're going to lose everything. And he would tell me, well, they have no idea how it was for me. They have it really good. That's what he said. Y lo que él decía es, ellos no saben lo que fue mi infancia. Ellos la tienen muy bien. A mí me fue horrible. So in his perspective, they were like in a in a way better place than he ever was. And he was right. Y en su vista, ellos estaban en un lugar mucho mejor de lo que él había estado. Like they weren't getting physically abused, right? No estaban siendo golpeados físicamente ni nada así. They had a house and they had a car. Tenían casa y carro, right? They never went hungry. Nunca tenían hambre. So in his eyes, they're like, what are you talking about? I'm giving them a better life than I ever had. Entonces, en su vista, él decía, ¿de qué estás hablando? Yo le estoy dando a ellos una vida mucho mejor de la que yo tuve. It doesn't matter how much better you think it is. It's still not the standard of God. Because you're still using the tools of fear and intimidation and the law and the same tools that the devil uses. Entonces, de todas maneras, no está bien porque estás usando las herramientas de la ley, del diablo, de intimidación y de temor, no las herramientas de Dios. That's why we say that the tools that were passed on to us, you know, those kind of tools, are incompatible with the relationship God created us for. Entonces, por eso decimos que las herramientas que aprendimos, las malas, ¿sí?, son incompatibles con el tipo de relación para el que fuimos diseñados. Is this all making sense? ¿Estás siguiendo eso? Number 7 says, we are no longer under a covenant that controls us externally, but under one that leads us internally. Número 7 dice, ya no estamos bajo un pacto que nos controla externamente, sino uno que nos guía internamente. Jeremiah 31, we're going to read a few verses here. In verse 27, Jeremías 31, versículo 27. Okay. And I'm going to read all the way to verse 34. Y voy a leer hasta el 34. It says, the days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will plant the kingdoms of Israel and Judah with the offspring of people and of animals. Just as I watched over them to uproot and tear down and to overthrow, destroy, and bring disaster, so I will watch over them to build and to plant, declares the Lord. In those days, people will no longer say, the parents have eaten sour grapes and the children's teeth are set on edge. Instead, everyone will die from their own sin. Whoever eats sour grapes, their own teeth will be set on edge. The days are coming, declares the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the people of Israel and with the people of Judah. It will not be like the covenant I made with their ancestors when I took them by the hand to lead them out of Egypt, because they broke my covenant, though I was a husband to them, declares the Lord. This is the covenant I will make with the people of Israel. After that time, declares the Lord, I will put my law in their minds and write it on their hearts. It will be their God. I will be their God, and they will be my people. No longer will they teach their neighbor or say to one another, know the Lord, because they will all know me, from the least of them to the greatest, declares the Lord. For I will forgive their wickedness and remember their sins no more. Okay? Dice, voy a leer desde el versículo 33. Dice, este es el pacto que haré con el pueblo de Israel. Después de ese tiempo, declara el Señor, Pondré mi ley en su mente y la escribiré en sus corazones, y les seré por Dios y ellos me serán por pueblo. Y no más le enseñarán a su vecino o le dirán uno a otro, conoce al Señor, porque ellos todos me conocerán, desde el más pequeño hasta el más grande, declara el Señor, porque yo les perdonaré su maldad y ya no recordaré sus pecados jamás. We're no longer under that covenant that controls us externally. See, number 8 says, Israel had an external governing system that was motivated by blessing for obedience and punishment for disobedience. El número 8 dice, Israel tenía un sistema de gobierno externo que bendecía por obediencia y castigaba por desobediencia. Israel tenía un sistema de gobierno externo que bendecía por obediencia y castigaba por desobediencia. Israel had an external governing system that was motivated by blessing for obedience and punishment for disobedience. You remember this? Have you read through the law? ¿Han leído la ley? ¿Se acuerdan de esto? That was the old covenant, el pacto, el antiguo pacto. But he says, this is Jeremiah speaking of the new covenant that we received in Jesus Christ. Pero Jeremías está hablando del nuevo pacto que íbamos a recibir en Cristo Jesús. Where we will not be governed by an external law anymore, written on stone, que ya no íbamos a ser gobernados por una ley externa escrita en tablas de piedra, sino que íbamos a tener su ley escrita en nuestro corazón. But we would have his word written in our heart. So it's no longer an external controlling system, but it's an internal leading system. Ya no es un sistema externo que controla, sino un sistema interno que guía. Sí. The Bible does not extensively talk about parenting or marriage because we're supposed to reflect into our marriage and with our children the relationship that he tells us to have with him as the father and with him as the bride. La Biblia no habla extensamente de matrimonios y de cómo ser padres. ¿Sabes por qué? Porque nosotros se supone que debemos tomar la relación de hijos que tenemos con él y reflejarla a nuestros hijos, y la relación de la novia que tenemos con Jesús y reflejarla a nuestra esposa. It's supposed to be a reflection. Se supone que sea una reflexión. That's why learning about parenting is learning about how he is with us. Por eso que aprender de padres es aprender cómo él es con nosotros. ¿Sí? So, when we say on Sundays, we're not looking for an behavior modification but heart transformation. Cuando decimos los domingos, no buscamos una modificación del comportamiento, sino una transformación del corazón. That's exactly the same way we're supposed to parent. Es la misma manera en la que necesitamos educar a nuestros hijos. Not trying to control them externally, like the old system of the law, of the old covenant. No tratar de controlarlos externamente como el antiguo pacto y el sistema de la ley del Antiguo Testamento. But instead, go for the heart. Sino entonces ir por el corazón. Cultivate the heart connection with them. Cultiva la conexión de corazón con él, con ellos. So that they will be led from the inside, para que sean guiados por adentro. See, that's why parenting is about sowing seeds and putting the right stuff in love, always. And at the right time, they'll give fruit. Por eso, el ser padre se trata de poner las semillas correctas adentro, una otra vez en amor, en amor, en amor, para que a su debido tiempo den fruto. See, just like God wants our heart and not our money. Así como Dios quiere nuestro corazón y no nuestro dinero. Because when he has our heart, we want to give. Porque cuando tiene nuestro corazón, queremos dar. The same way you want your children to not have to obey you because they're going to get the chancla. No quieres que tus hijos te obedezcan porque si no les va a tocar la chancla. You want them to obey you because they love you. Sino que quieres que te obedezcan porque te aman. Because they have your heart. You have their heart. Porque tienes una conexión de corazón con ellos. It's no longer I have to, it's I don't want to hurt mom's heart. Ya no es no tengo que, sino es no quiero herir el corazón de mamá. This is so good. I love it. I learn, I remind me, me recuerdo a mí mismo. Número 9. El nuevo pacto escribe su ley en nuestra mente y corazón y nos da la capacidad y responsabilidad de controlarnos a nosotros mismos. The new covenant writes his law on our hearts and minds and gives us the capability and responsibility to control ourselves. Self-control. Dominio propio, right? It's a responsibility. Es una responsabilidad. It's the ability to respond. La habilidad de responder. Número 10. Cuando el amor y libertad reemplazan el temor y el castigo, creamos un ambiente seguro donde la ansiedad no crea más distancia y en vez el amor crea conexión. When love and freedom replace fear and punishment, we create a safe environment where anxiety is not creating distance anymore. Instead, love is creating connection. That's number 10. It's número 10. So the number one goal is connection. La meta número uno es conexión. What was that? La meta número uno es conexión. Number one goal is connection. Because let me tell you something, and we teach this in the Keep Your Love On class for relationships. Enseñamos esto en la clase de Mantén tu amor encendido para relaciones, which is, a lot of the same stuff because our kids are a relationship, like the most important relationship. Nuestros hijos son una relación, la relación más importante, right? After your spouse, your relationship with your kids is number one. Después de tu esposa, la relación con tus hijos es número uno. I mean, what's the point of gaining the whole world and losing your first ministry, which is your family right here? ¿Cuál es el punto de ganar a todo el mundo, right? Y perder tu primer ministerio, que es aquí, tu familia, tu hogar. Many times, religion has said that comes first. Muchas veces la religión ha dicho que eso viene primero, right? You got to save souls, so I must leave my family for months. Hay que salvar almas, así que voy a dejar a mi familia por meses. That just does not sit well with me. Eso simplemente no está bien conmigo. Why you want to gain a bunch of strange souls and lose the souls that you were entrusted to lead up, to train up into their destiny, into their calling from scratch, ¿Por qué querrías ir a salvar almas de extraños y perder las almas de los que te encargaron desde el principio para ayudarles a caminar en su propio destino? Man, Siri is always thinking we're talking to her. Siri piensa que siempre estamos hablando. Is it mine? It could be mine. Okay, I was like, be quiet, Siri. She's like, what? So, connection, right? Teaching them the skill of managing freedom, la conexión, el enseñarles a manejar su libertad. Like, those are important things. Son cosas muy importantes, things that many times are not taught and are not priorities. Cosas que muchas veces no son prioridades ni son enseñadas. So we want to replace, what number 10 is saying, we want to replace the tools that have anything to do with fear and punishment. Queremos reemplazar las herramientas, cualquier herramienta que usamos que tiene que ver con castigo y temor, and we want to put love and freedom, y amor y libertad. True love gives freedom. Number 11, true love gives freedom. Número 11, el verdadero amor da libertad. And you can read Genesis 2:25. Puedes leer en Génesis 2:25. You know, they were naked and unashamed. Estaban desnudos y sin vergüenza. Right? They were free, eran libres. And, you know, is there freedom in our home? Is that a value that we cultivate in our home? ¿Es la libertad y el amor un valor que cultivamos en nuestro hogar? You know, shame is another tool that in the world of parenting is like so common, you know. La vergüenza es otra herramienta que en el mundo de educar y criar hijos es como muy común y muy normal, right? Whenever we're like, oh my gosh, you know, like, can't believe you're the worst, like, you're terrible, you know. And we think that if we rub their noses in their mistake hard enough, they won't do it again. Y pensamos que si les arrastramos la nariz en su error lo suficiente, no lo harán otra vez. But shame is the devil's tool. La vergüenza es la herramienta del diablo. And it's a thing that people deal with so surely every day. Y es algo con lo que la gente lidia cada día. I mean, people go to sozo and counseling and deliverance and healing ministries because of the shame that their parents put on them when they were kids. Las personas van a sozo y a lugares de sanidad interior y liberación y oración y todo esto por la vergüenza que los padres les pusieron cuando eran pequeños. Right? Deep wounds. Let's not use those tools. No vamos a usar esas herramientas. Causan heridas profundas. So, let's do an activation. We have 5 minutes. Tenemos una activación. Vamos a hacer 5 minutos. So, I want you to write down, okay, number 1, it says, which tools of intimidation and fear did you learn from your childhood, and which ones have you used with your children? So, it's important to acknowledge this, you know, so that we understand this isn't right, and I'm going to change this. Right? So don't be embarrassed to write it down. You know, this is for you. Así que, ¿qué herramientas de temor e intimidación aprendiste de tu niñez y cuáles has usado con los tuyos? Y no es para que tengas vergüenza, es para reconocerlos y decir, esto está mal. This is not right. It is not right to shame my kid when he makes a mistake. It is not right to threaten him. It is not right to control him with fear. No está bien amenazarlo, no está bien controlarlo con temor, no está bien usar estas herramientas más. But they worked with me. Look how I turned out. Funcionaron conmigo. Mira cómo salí yo. No. Okay, so quickly write 1 or 2 things that come to mind. Escribe 1 o 2 cosas que vienen a mente. And then number 2 is similar, but it has to do with mindsets. Y número 2 es un poco similar, pero tiene que ver con mentalidades. Dice, identifica dónde has usado mentalidades del Antiguo Testamento para criar a tus hijos. Do you see where you've used Old Testament mindsets to raise your children? Because what happens is this creates a conflict. When you're teaching them God loves you unconditionally all the time, He's in a good mood, it creates a conflict when you're never in a good mood and you love them conditionally. Crea un conflicto en ellos cuando les dices Dios te ama, está de buen humor contigo todo el tiempo y te ama incondicionalmente, pero tú no los amas incondicionalmente y tú no estás de buen humor con ellos todo el tiempo. See, they learn to relate to God the way they relate to their father. Ellos aprenden a relacionarse con Dios de la manera que se relacionan con su padre terrenal. And many times it's not a healthy way, which, you know, they have to go through healing and stuff like that. And I'm not saying you have to be perfect. I'm saying when we consciously use these tools as parenting tools, right? I'm not saying we have to be in a good mood all the time. No, that's not what I'm saying. No estoy diciendo que tenemos que estar de buen humor todo el tiempo. I mean, we'd be putting up a show, right? Like no, but when we use it as a tool for parenting, pero cuando lo usamos como una herramienta de padres, when I'm like, okay, you're bad, I'm now in a bad mood with you, and now this is your fault, and now you caused me to be mad, okay? We're trying to teach him, hey, if you don't want me to be mad, then behave. and then we put them in performance. I'm not saying that we have to put up a happy face all the time and that we don't have bad moments. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when we use it to parent them. Estoy diciendo cuando lo usamos ese enojo o el estar de mal humor con ellos como una herramienta para criarlos. Y decimos, yo estoy de malas, tú me pusiste de malas, estoy enojado por culpa tuya, ¿ok? Porque entonces estoy enseñando, cuando tú me pones de malas, yo estoy enojado y es tu culpa. Cuando no estás, entonces estoy bien. And then I'm putting myself in the position of a victim of my child. Y después yo me pongo en la posición de víctima de mi hijo. Instead of teaching them, this is the day the Lord has made. I'm going to be glad and rejoice no matter what you choose to do with your day. En vez de enseñarle, este es el día que hizo el Señor, yo me alegraré y regocijaré sin importar lo que tú escojas hacer con tu día. So write some down, escribe unas abajo, and I want to ask you real quick, y quiero hacerte unas preguntas. Here's the microphone. Would you guys, real quick, tell me what you got, what was the big highlight for you? ¿Cuál fue un gran aha para ti? Who wants to go? ¿Quién quiere decirme? What did you learn tonight? ¿Qué aprendiste esta noche?
Que ciertamente yo así he estado pues educando a mi hijo muchas de las veces.
Yes, that I have certainly raised my kid this way many times.
A veces el enojo me gana y sí, lo amenazo, soy agresiva.
Sometimes anger gets the better of me, and I threaten, and I get aggressive.
Inmediatamente me doy cuenta, se me pasa el enojo.
And then I'll catch myself, I'll calm down.
Le pido perdón, me siento muy mal.
And I'll apologize.
Es como un ciclo que trato de eliminar.
Sometimes it's like a cycle that I'm trying to eliminate. Okay.
Y le prometo a él que lo quiero eliminar de mi vida, que lo amo con todo mi corazón.
And then she cleans up the mess and tells him, I love him with all my heart and I'm sorry.
Y estoy
That's
muy
really
feliz
powerful.
de venir aquí.
Apologizing is incredibly powerful for a parent to do. El pedir perdón para un padre es algo increíblemente poderoso because we're saying, hey, I was wrong, and yes, you want to break the cycle, but you're saying what I did was not right. And I need you to know that, I need you to forgive me, and so that we can restore the standard. Y es importante poderle decir, lo que yo hice está mal, y necesito que me perdones, porque eso restaura el estándar. Remember, forgiveness restores the standard. El perdón restaura el estándar. Who else? What else did you get out of tonight? ¿Qué más aprendiste esta noche? James.
The children need to have the freedom to choose and not the rules so they don't ever learn.
Que los niños necesitan tener la libertad para escoger y no solo las reglas, porque si no, no aprenden.
They need principles, guidelines, and wisdom to make those decisions.
Están principios, guías para tomar esas decisiones.
They have to be exposed to temptation so they know how to handle it.
Expuestos a cierta tentación para saber cómo manejarla.
So when they're on their own, they'll make the right decisions.
Para que cuando estén por sí mismos puedan tomar decisiones solos. So good. ¿Quién más? What else? What else did you get? ¿Qué más aprendiste esta noche?
So in our past,
En nuestro pasado,
I remember that we were big power struggle people.
recuerdo que nosotros eran de los que luchábamos por el poder.
Our kids are grown now, but we used to power struggle
Nuestros hijos ya son grandes, pero antes luchábamos por quién tenía el poder.
and get disappointed in our expectations.
Y nos desilusionábamos por nuestras expectativas.
And what I learned was that my expectations
Y lo que aprendí es que mis expectativas
were the biggest disappointments in my children.
eran las desilusiones más grandes en mis hijos.
And I did put them into performance.
Y los hice a ellos como poner en actuación.
And so I guess what I want everyone to know is God is such a redeemer.
Así que lo que yo quiero que sepan es que Dios es un buen redentor también.
And it doesn't matter what the mistakes are that we have made with our children.
Y que los errores que hemos hecho no importa, están en el pasado.
It matters how we're turning it all around.
Amen. Importa lo que estamos haciendo ahora para darle la vuelta a esto.
Because God's grace is so sufficient
Porque la gracia de Dios es tan suficiente
that He is going to cover all of the mistakes.
que Él va a cubrir todos los errores.
and shield our children from those
Y
mistakes.
cubrir a nuestros hijos de esos errores. That is so good. And I'm telling you, when I first read this book, I cried. I thought, I messed them up forever. Cuando yo primero aprendí esto, lloré y dije, los eché a perder para siempre. And God showed me, no, don't worry, I'm bigger. Y Dios me enseñó, no te preocupes, yo soy más grande. So I continue to learn, but I don't want to, here's the thing. When your parents don't know the Lord and your kids grow up, they go, well, they didn't have Jesus. But when they do know the Lord, it's like, well, they did know better. Cuando no conocían al Señor, es que, bueno, no tenían al Señor, pero cuando sí tienen al Señor, pues sabían mejor. So we know we have the Lord. We need to choose better. Necesitamos escoger mejor. Going forward, like Ronnie said, He's a good redeemer. Like, He's a good healer. Él es un buen sanador y un buen redentor. Pero yendo adelante, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Because now we affect not just our relationship with them, but grandkids or any spiritual children the Lord brings to you. Pero cualquier hijo espiritual que el Señor te trae. Does anybody else want to share something that you got? What did you get? Sergio, come on. ¿Qué más? Sergio.
I think it's so easy to keep your standards really low in parenting, and I don't mean that in a bad way.
Es muy fácil mantener tu estándar bajo como padre.
If you grew up that way,
Si creciste de esa manera,
you justify certain behaviors and
justificas
responses,
respuestas y comportamientos.
saying this is for their good or this is
Diciendo-
for their betterment,
Esto es para su bien o para el mejor de ellos.
but without ever really looking to improve those things.
Pero, without ever looking what?
To improve those things,
Pero sin nunca ver el mejorar en esas cosas.
because you saw your cousins or your family grow up with it,
Porque viste a tus primos o tus familias crecer así.
and they're not in jail, so it's okay.
Y no están en la cárcel, así que está bien.
This works,
Funciona.
but it's not the case.
Pero no es el caso.
It's always important to improve.
Así que es importante mejorar.
There's always a better way,
Siempre hay una mejor manera.
and especially I think when you begin in parenting or in anything, I think you make mistakes.
Y creo que especialmente cuando empiezas como padre, cometes errores.
And sometimes
Yep.
you see the fruit of what you're sowing in your kids
Y a veces ves el fruto de lo que estás sembrando en tus hijos.
and the way they respond to things
Y la manera en la que responden a cosas.
and the way they treat other people.
Y la manera en la que tratan a otras personas.
But it's important to know
Pero es importante saber
that you and them don't have to stay there,
que no tienen que quedarse ahí, ni tú
but
ni
that
ellos.
you can both be better.
Y que los dos pueden ser mejor. That's so good. Muy bueno. Anybody else? ¿Alguien más? Carlos. So good. Tan bueno.
I guess I'm guilty of breaking all the rules.
Dice, yo soy culpable de haber roto todas las reglas.
My baby today is 40 years old.
Mi bebé tiene 40 años hoy.
My oldest is 52,
Y el más grande, 52.
and my daughter is 49.
Y mi hija, 49.
And today I'm a grandfather and a great-grandfather.
Y soy abuelo y bisabuelo.
And I try to teach my children
Y trato de enseñarles a mis hijos
the best that I could
lo mejor que pude.
without knowing the Lord as my Savior.
Sin conocer a Jesús como
in those
mi
years.
Salvador en esos años.
And they were already big when I came to know the Lord.
Y ellos ya eran adultos cuando conocí al Señor.
But like we said, that we can turn things around,
Pero como decía, podemos voltear las cosas.
and I have done that,
Y lo he hecho yo.
and showing them my love for them,
Y les he mostrado mi amor para ellos.
and
Yes.
I'm still working on it,
Y continúo trabajando en
trying to
eso.
get better in that.
So good. Yeah, Carlos has amazing testimonies of, things like that. Carlos tiene testimonios hermosos de eso. Anybody else? One more? One more? Going once? Going twice? Gone. Okay. So it's going to get real fun the next few weeks. Se va a poner muy divertido las próximas semanas. We're going to talk about freedom. We're going to talk about discipline. Vamos a hablar de disciplina, de libertad. And then we'll have questions and answers as well. Vamos a tener preguntas y respuestas. Pastor Kara will be teaching also. La pastora Kara va a estar enseñando también. And then hopefully, Ronnie, you'll be here a few of those times. Yeah, y Ronnie estará aquí también. If you need prayer for anything, don't leave. If you're a parent and you're distraught over what you've done and you need prayer, don't leave tonight. We'll pray for you, okay? For peace. We'll release the peace. Así que si tú necesitas oración por cualquier cosa, no te vayas, vamos a orar por ti. All right? Listen, this is one thing I want to tell you. Esta es una cosa que te quiero decir para despedirte. And this brought me so much peace. Esto me trajo mucha paz. God gave me the kids that He knew I have everything that it takes to raise them. Because He gave them to me. Tengo todo lo que necesito dentro de mí para criarlos de la manera que agrada a Dios. Porque me los dio a mí. Like, that gives me so much confidence to know I have everything that it takes to raise them into mighty, 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 not mediocre, but mighty, mighty people of God. Tengo todo lo que necesito para criarlos en personas poderosas de Dios, no mediocres. And that gives me so much confidence to know because I'm like, why would He give them to me, right? He knows I'm not perfect. Sabía que no era perfecto. Like, He knows I'm not perfect. Él sabe que no soy perfecto, right? So that gives me so much confidence, you know. Eso me da mucha confianza. And now I can just trust in God and get better, like Sergio was saying, every day. Y ahora simplemente confío en Dios y mejoro cada día, como decía Sergio, mejoro cada día. Amen. So no more fear, because fear has no hold on me. No más temor.